Alexa, off. Enough, you two.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm in the same chair as I was this morning, and I'm just excited to be in the same chair. It has been a long day today, and you know how real estate agents are. They're always a little different on time. Well, look at those little ones. My neighbor, hi, Ruby. There's my neighbors. They're over there. Kimberly's little grandkids. They live right next door to me. And so they're like, what does he do, Mom? What is he doing over there? Besides chasing Bryce around and dogs around the cul-de-sac. So good morning. Good morning. That tells you where my head's at. I'm so used to saying good morning. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. First and foremost, happy Tuesday evening to you. Happy hour, happy study hall that we have. People will be coming and going. We had quite a few people actually. I was very impressed. We had, even though there's 17 people, looks like people like the morning time a little bit better right now. Um, what I'm nervous about is we just did some go high level stuff. And I'm not too sure. Chet said that he didn't get one of the messages or something. Some people have gotten it. I don't know. Fred mentioned it too, is in his spam. So I'm waiting for people just to blow me up and texting me very shortly here saying that they can't get into some capacity. So we'll be ready for that because you know what? Even though the VAs aren't here, I'm going to be able to figure it out. I'm going to be able to figure it out. So, first of all, and the dogs are already excited. First and foremost, we can't normally do this in the morning. And do a little cheers, everybody. Grab yourself a drink that we got over here. Now, I got to share with you, it is non alcoholic because, back in the day, my ex wife would be like, I heard you were drinking on a show. I heard you were drinking and partying. That's what you were doing. So I like to make sure that I share everybody, but I like this non alcoholic beer that we got going on here. So grab yourself a drink if you don't have a drink. It's freaking evening time. There you go, Chet. Make sure you got a drink. I got my little peanuts over here. I got some chips and some crackers. So I'm gonna have myself a little fun over here. So if you got a drink, grab yourself a drink. It's not very often I can have a sip while I'm on the show. So I'll be monitoring the chats. I'll be monitoring the participants, them coming in. I'll be monitoring my text messages and everything else that we have going on here. So if you can, put in the chat where you're calling us from. Put in the chat where you are calling us from. I always like to see where everybody's calling from over here. Now, this will be recorded. We will have the chats also filtered and looked at tomorrow with my VA, with my team. Um, it has been a fun day today. Started off this morning at sitting on this chair at prayer call at 7:30. Then I went into the 8:15 show. Then I had a 10 o'clock meeting. And then I had a Go High Level. How many of you use Go High Level? We are getting ready to run Go High Level, very high level. Actually hired a company to run my Go High Level, and then we have a little chat, little AI attached to my Go High Level. So we're using some OpenClaw. We're looking at Manus on running it. And so we've been putting that together. I've been working with my team on that. So we're getting ready to push that out. So if anybody's ever interested in that. And then I had a peptides meeting. I had a peptides meeting going on because I'm getting ready to do some peptides type of stuff. I went from 192 pounds to 172. My goal is 168. My body fat has gone down 6%. And I really like how I'm feeling, to be honest with you. I'm going to be 48 years old and I haven't felt this way in a long time. So I'm working with partnering on some peptides. So that's my next thing that I had going on today because, I got nothing else. John, who wants some peptides? Brian Galkey, he too got me started on peptides. It was in Nashville I started this. So I did that. And then I had a listing presentation this morning or this afternoon at 1:30. I ended up getting it. So I'm excited about that. And walked the dogs. And here we are. Here we are. Oh, and I got a couple sponsors for our pickleball that we have on May 19th, a month from the third Tuesday, we are doing a study hall. And so we have peptides that we are going to be peptides. We have pickleball that we got on May 19th. So I got all my chat, all my links that I'll be sharing with y'all. But while I have you, and while I was dealing with sponsors, this is what I want y'all to do. Okay. I want you to put in the chat, what is it that you do? Like, put in your title, your business, put your contact information, put your email, put in here right now, what is it that you do? Because I'm going to gather these all up with my team, and then we're going to put them into my Brock Z Vans Mindset Motivational private Facebook page. And we're going to create a file. So that way, if somebody's like, I need it. I need some financial help. Let me go to the count. Oh, there's Chad Free. Let me go to that. You know what? I need a mortgage broker. You know what? That's what I need. I got Chet on here. You know what? I'm going to reach out to Chet to see what he's got. I need somebody who can help me out with marketing. I need somebody who can help me out with my finances because I'm doing my taxes and I need the app that Christian has. Whatever it is, maybe Fred's a coach on here. Maybe you need to talk to Fred on some of the coaching that he does. And he's like, you know what? I need to get a different perspective. So help, whatever it is, put in the chat what it is that you do. Rosario's on here. Maybe your credit sucked like mine did back in the 500s and you really need some help. She can help you out with that stuff. So there we go. Putting it in here. Financial literacy. Wow, that's a fancy word you got going on there. Let's see. Property and casualty insurance. Jared's on here. What up, Jared? My go-to guys. What's up, Jesse? Jay and his team, the insurance team, was there. Good morning. So, hey, besides, make sure you guys are putting your phone number. Make sure you put your phone number. So let me go to my chat here, and then we're gonna get this party started here. Let me go to mine. Here is for pickleball that we have. It's a little bit harder when you're by yourself on here. Make sure you put your information, what it is that you do. Now, I don't know where the hell everybody else is because we had 89 people sign up, and you know what? I don't care. We're gonna get ourselves rock and rolling here tonight because whatever it is that we got going on, we got to make sure that we're bringing some fun over here on this Tuesday evening. So if you haven't gotten a drink, once again, make sure you get your drink because I was one of those that like to stay very hydrated. Right, Colin? Colin in Alaska, it's like in the afternoon. They're about to have lunch over there on what they got going on. So, all right. So we did the pickleball. I talked about this sponsors or what you guys did on here. That was really pretty much, you guys told me where you're from. So what we got going on here today. So we have 5 speakers that are going to be sharing today. They each got 20 minutes to talk. Now that is going to be the hardest part because you want to know what it is trying to tell these speakers that they got 20 minutes. You would think I asked them to run 2 miles. They're like, wait, what? 20 minutes? I said, yes, 20 minutes, please. 20 minutes to be able to talk. And so not only speakers are you talking for 20 minutes, yours is being recorded. So if you want this for a reel, you want this to be able to show and share with other people, you're going to be recorded. So that way you can take it and use it for other things as well. So it's kind of like a dual-headed monster for you today on what you're doing, at what you got going on with the group, as well as future stuff that you can post on your socials for what you got for your topic. So I don't know about you all, but I'm a little excited to see Chad Free. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks on the show. He dumped me. He dumped me all. In case you're wondering, he dumped me, and he threw me to the curb and says, "I'm out. I'm out." And so Monday mornings, you can thank Christian And you can thank Joe Sonona, who've been filling in your shoes, Chad Free. But guys, put some love in the chat. Put a 5 in the chat for Mr. Chad Free. I miss seeing you, brother. How are you, man?
Man, I'm just so good and lovely on this nice day. How you doing? How's everybody doing?
Man, it is good. It's just weird being at night. I keep wanting to say like good morning to everybody, but it's nice to be on the other side of the 7, that's for sure. 7:12, I'll take it. I feel a little bit more relaxed. I don't know about you.
Oh yeah, 100% chill.
Smooth, smooth. Well, brother, the floor is yours. I'm gonna let you take it from here, man. And let's see what you got.
All right, sounds good. So what's up, everybody? I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Thanks for joining us. And look, I can come on here and tell you about all these super incredible strategies that I do and how pretty they are and how they can make your life so much better. You ain't interested in that. You're just not. I got to show you that there's a problem first. So, with your permission, I'm going to show you some problems that sound so like just elementary, but I think it will open your mind because, again, Brock, you know, I like my sayings. Your mind's like a parachute. It works best when it's open. So, my job here for this first 20 minutes, I want to open your mind. I want to wake you up. I want to kind of shake you. And then I want you to see what's going on in finances. I want to show you that, you know what, you are making good money. You are putting money away, but maybe you don't feel like you're getting ahead. Maybe you think that you're still behind. Maybe you think that you're stuck. I kind of want to pull back the curtain and show you what might be contributing to that. Is that cool? Put a 5 in the chat if you're ready for this. All right. I'm going to get on my board here. Is that cool? I'm going to get on my board. I'm going to draw some things out. And Brock, I want you to come off of mute when I get close to my 20 minutes and just say, Chad, give me the microphone. Okay. That's cool with me. All right. So here's the deal. First of all, I want to open your mind to a new way of approaching your finances. Okay. That's what I want to do first. So let's go to the board real quick. Let's go to my handy dandy whiteboard. All right. So here's the bottom line. I work with people that have money. I work with people that want money. The people that have money have one thing that they make sure they tell me, Chad, don't lose my money. Don't lose my money. I don't care if they've got 25.5 million, 110 million, or if they're just getting started. All right. The people that have money, they have that one concern, don't lose my money. The people that want money, they have all kind of different things. Chad, I want to do this, and this. But if we just get down to it, guess what they want to know? They want to know, how did these people that have money get to where they are currently? So this little nice pie chart does a great job in showing and translating how we approach the planning process. Warren Buffett says his number one rule to investing is to not lose money. His number 2 rule, don't forget the number 1 rule. Simple as that. All right. So here's the deal. The Bureau of Labor Statistics did a study. Where does all of our money go when we make our first dollar until we spend our last dime? Where's it all going? And this is what they found. 40% goes to taxes. All right. And here's the deal. When we pay those taxes, we lose that money forever. We don't ever have the ability to get that back in our possession to where it compounds in our favor ever again. So those are lost dollars. 25% goes to our lifestyle. And because that's not such a big number, we like nicer, newer, bigger, faster things. So we go into debt, right? Now, a lot of us know how debt works. We got payments with debt. You got the principal and you got interest. Let me tell you something. That interest is not going toward the principal. It's going toward the financial institution's profit margin, their bottom line. So the interest that we are spending is also lost dollars. We never have the ability to get that money back and have it compounding in our favor ever again. Now, let me just put a little disclosure out here, okay? I'm not bashing mortgages. I'm not bashing all debt. But I do think that you need to understand how to handle it, how to steward it, how to take control, have clarity and confidence in your money. And that's what I do all day, every day. Okay? Now, back to my little presentation here. 10%, they say, goes to savings. Now, if you go north, south, east, or west of you to most, not all, but most traditional financial institutions, they want to talk about this piece of the pie and this piece of the pie only. How much you got, how much you putting in there, and then guess what? Their platform just so happens to have the algorithms that have beat the market the past 50 to 11 years. And there's really not a close second. But let me tell you something. That is how you play the stock market. That would be a C right there before that. Yep. And that's how you time the market and all of that. That's not how you build true wealth that lasts generationally. So what we do is we build financial models. Y'all ready for this? That reduce taxes. And if it applies to you, reduces and or eliminates your debt. And look, just by doing this right here, look how much more you have. It gets you off the hamster wheel chasing those rates of returns. Where can I put my money? Where can I put my money? Where can I put my money? The uncontrollables, and we build a financial model that you are in control of. You have access to. It's responsive to change, and it's fueled by tax efficiency. So, everybody understand? Y'all picking up what I'm putting down so far? Yep. Put a 5 in the chat. Come on. Y'all miss me yet? Don't miss me yet. I miss y'all. I miss y'all. All right. So that's that. I want to open your mind. Now let's talk about some problems. All right. The first thing, again, like I mentioned, I've got a mortgage. I'm not bashing mortgages. Mortgages are necessary. Matter of fact, let me just tell you something right now. I am partnered up with Chet. He is on here somewhere. And we are doing some very creative things together to help people move their money, be good stewards of their money, and build wealth. So everything is situational. I like to tell people this. Look, it's all about you. I help advisors all day, every day with their prospects and their clients. And I let them know, look, don't come to the table with a strategy already in mind. It's all about them. So I've got 100 different puzzle pieces. I've got a box with no picture on it, and it's through having a conversation with that client and potential client prospect and understanding what they want, what they're trying to achieve. That's when that picture starts revealing itself on the box. Then we can start putting the puzzle pieces together. All right? So no assumptions. All right. So with that being said, what we do is we literally build these financial models that plug holes to where all the leaks are. So let's talk about this. If you have a $500,000 mortgage, it's a 30-year mortgage, 4% APR, that payment's going to run you about $23.75 a month. The interest on that, remember the lost dollars, is about $1,666. I changed it, okay? $1,667 per month. I don't like that. I don't like that number. 1667. So here's the deal. That's 70%, guys, that you're losing every month. So we're putting money into a bucket and thinking that we're building wealth, but we're completely oblivious to the fact of the hole at the bottom of that bucket to the tune of 70%. So is everybody following me? Because look, if you are losing 70%, please tell me your investment that you're making 70% on every single month. I want you to understand there's a problem before I start showing you solutions. All right, so that's that. That's number one. Now, let me go back to my handy dandy drawing board. Let me teach you another little something. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It has disappeared on me. No, it didn't. There we go. All right. Let's talk about the power of compounding and the devastation of taxes. So I kind of shared about interest. I kind of shared how that's lost money. Let me show you about the devastation of taxes versus the power of compounding. Okay? So if we took $1 and we doubled it every single year, let me get you started, okay? 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, 4 turns into 8. You get what I'm saying.
Who smashed their skull in with a hammer.
All right. In year 20, we have 1,048,000 and some change. I do not know that change, okay? Forgive me. Give me some grace. 1,048,000. Now, what if we had a 10% tax every time that dollar doubled? Just a 10% tax. All right. In year 20, it's 376,000. Who's got a 10% tax? Not too many people. So, what if we had a 20% tax? Every time you doubled the dollar, everybody get it? Doubled the dollar, you get a tax. Doubled the dollar. We did a 20% tax. It gets better and better and better. It's $127,000. Guys, that's over 80% less. So we have to focus on tax planning, because if you don't have a plan, Uncle Sam already does. This is one of the biggest tax drag, or the biggest drags on our wealth is taxes. So we can stay on the hamster wheel, addicted to the hopium, chasing rates of returns and trying to beat the market. We can do that, or we can look at these things that we can control. And that's taxes. Now, I've added something since then, because some people start saying, well, what if we're beating the market every single year? And, you know, we do this and we do that, blah, 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 blah. So here's for you. All right. What if every year your dollar doubled and you got a 14% rate of return? So let me unpack this. That means your money is literally 114% every year. But we do have the 20% tax. This is not averaging 14%. It does 14%. Well, this is for you guys. $404,000 is less than 1,048,000. Let's put some attention towards taxes, debt and taxes, debt and taxes. Now let's flip the switch on my last little deal, and I'm going to be quiet and we're going to hand it off to the next person. A lot of things that we do, we actually use leverage. So there is good debt. There is good debt. Now let me show you how we can use that. How am I on time, Brock?
You have about 5 minutes.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It's going to be a smooth
I
landing. We
should have
ain't gonna
told
come
him
in.
like 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's fine. I can do that too. All right. Colin, let me pick on Colin a little bit. So here's the deal. Let me show you this. Colin has $10,000 and he puts that bad boy in the bank. He deposits his $10,000 in the bank and the bank's going to pay him 2% interest. All right. Chad, your boy right here, wants a golf cart or a side by side or a zero turn mower. Whatever you can buy now for $10,000. That's not too much. But anyway, so he goes to the bank to the, probably the back right corner office, maybe. I don't know if that's where you are, but in my hometown, that's where it is. And I'm going to take out a loan. And they're going to charge me 7%. Colin deposits 10,000. They pay him 2%. I go in and take a loan out. They charge me 7%. Bank charges 2, bank receives 7. On the surface, what is that? 2, 7, 5%. No. Because here's why. That's Colin's $10,000. That's not the bank's. Colin lended the bank $10,000. And then the bank turned around and leveraged that and made money on that. So, y'all ready for this? The bank paid Colin $200 and they received $700 from me. $200 is their money. $700 is their money. That's 250% return. Y'all all right? Huh? That's Black Diamond money moves, guys. That's what I got. I can't tell you all the nice, pretty, shiny object solutions that we have until you truly wake up and realize there might be a problem and there might be holes in the bottom of your bucket and there might be things that you need to plug the holes in and finally start experiencing some traction and getting ahead. So I do a Wealth Revolution Challenge. I've got my next one coming up here just in a few days on April 28th through the 30th, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern time. We're going to spend 1 hour per day on those 3 days, and I'm going to break down all of these and how we approach it, how we address it, and how we fix it by using strategies that so many people have no clue about. So there's 2 types of people. People that know there's a problem and just hope it all works out. People that realize there's a problem, they do something about it. I only work with serious people. That's all I got, guys.
Man, that microphone must have been burning in your hand there. I thought I was gonna have to come over to the screen and get it from you. Well, Chad, first of all, how do you do that screen in the background? That thing's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy that thing in the back there. Do you play any other games back there with that screen? Because I really like that thing.
Maybe tic-tac-toe every once in a while. I mean, that's a good idea, but I haven't played any games yet. You know what I mean?
I was thinking that Bryce would really like that over there. Chad, give me your greatest in today's economy, what you're seeing in society. Before I let you go, like what's the one biggest takeaway that you could share with us right now that you are seeing in today's whether it's the gas prices, our credit card debt is the highest you're seeing right now. Groceries are going where they are, the interest rates, like anything that you see, what would be your one takeaway or one nugget that you leave us with everything?
Focus on what you can control. I'm a firm believer that God's got it under control, and that if you focus on Him and truly trust in Him and just focus on being and becoming who He created you to be, I'm going to be honest with you, how He works that out in your life, that is up to Him. But that's all I'm going to be bold about and say. It's all about Him. It's all about, not living life in fear, and just truly using your best judgment, but stay focused on him. Don't worry about tomorrow. Focus on today. Be present. And Proverbs 19:21 says, "Man has many plans, but God's purpose will prevail." I put everything I have into that right there. And let me tell you something. I don't worry. I don't worry about it.
Amen. Amen. It's so true. Like interest rates and like you can't control it. Like there's nothing you're going to be able to do to get the gas any lower, to groceries any different, to be able to change anything else except what you can control. And I always tell people it comes down to financial discipline. I think Jackie and I were talking about it. I said, Jackie, it doesn't matter how much money you make. If you still have the same behaviors of spending all your money, that's why celebrities and athletes are broke too. That's why because they just don't have any financial discipline or they don't have the right people managing their money like a Chad. So thank you, brother. I put Chad's information all. Chad, throw your digits and your information in the chat. I did put your link in there, but for those that want to reach out personally to Chad, send him a text message after the program here today. Reach out to him, have a conversation with him, text him. He's a man of knowledge. He works with John Hart as well on here. He's working with Chet. So, like, there's a lot of smart people in this room all that know how to manage money. They've partnered with the several people. So, people that I would definitely encourage you to have conversations with. And don't be scared of the money. Just because you don't have a lot of it, just because you're like broke, just because you might have debt. I was petrified to talk to freaking the IRS. I was $153,000. I couldn't. I'm like, um, I have zero money, sir. Sir, that's not a problem. We'll help you. They will help you. You just got to help yourself by going to the table, by going and picking up the phone, having conversations. So, Chad, appreciate you, brother. It's great to have you back, man. I missed you on here, and thanks so much for being here tonight.
Hey, one more little thing, quick, please, if I could. I am also partnered with Cullen, which probably could help this audience out if they're mostly realtors. And Cullen can help with that. We help people that face significant capital gains taxes. So I'm going to let him handle that from here. If you want that kind of deal with the real estate, reach out to him. So that's it, guys. Thank you for having me and allowing me to speak tonight at the study hall.
Appreciate you, Chad. Colin, put your digits in there. So for those that have that you can put that on for those that want to talk about the capital gains, because as you all know, our majority of not a majority, but a lot of people are sitting a lot of equity on their home. And when you got a lot of equity, there's some capital gains, there's some taxes that come into play, and so you want to be able to know how to do that. Maybe it's your parents. My parents didn't know, and so we had them get them lined up. So, without further ado, shifting things over to here, another person that I miss that I haven't seen in a while. Guys, put some love, put some five in the chat. Some of you don't know her, and some of you do know her, and I miss her a lot. Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
Oh, Brock, I miss you guys too. I know I was looking around. I'm like, oh, look at there's new faces on here, like people that I don't even know who they are. But I am doing good. I will share it has been a little bit of a season here, lots of good things. Um, and we also just recently lost my father in love, and we had kind of transitioned into the caretaking role with him. So with the onset of taking on those additional duties, time just became that thing that I had to practice what I preach and stand in my confidence and say, you know what, I'm spreading myself a little too thin with things. And just like we were talking about with Chad, a lot of times we don't ever talk to people about what our problems are, whether they're good problems or bad problems. Because right, who has good problems and who has bad problems? We all have that, and both can be true at the same time. But we don't always have the confidence to have those hard conversations. And so it makes you wonder, well, why don't we have the confidence, you know? And so I want to know by a show of hands, because we're not putting a 5 in the chat, by a show of hands, just raise it like either like the digital hand or just like raise it on the camera, or even like put the high five emoji or something in the chat. How many of you have ever at any point in your life felt that confidence is the same thing as cockiness? And the reason that you never step up in confidence is because you don't want to be perceived as being cocky. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie, Fran, Brittany, Chad. Yes. Joe, Sanoa and Joe Peck, Justine, John, Kimberly. Yes. Everybody has had that perception. And so I want to help you guys out with something real fast. The next time that little liar in your brain starts telling you not to stand up for yourself, not to speak up when something is not working, because success in real estate, it's my understanding that the majority of people on this call here tonight are in the real estate industry. Success in real estate comes down to two things: buyers and sellers. And then the whole messy middle is everything else that goes around that. And your ability to attract buyers and sellers cannot be duplicated. You have to hone into whatever method it is that works for you. And so I want to help you guys understand the difference between confidence and cockiness. So we're going to break these words down, okay? So confidence is a combination of three Latin words. The Latin prefix con, C-O-N, which literally means with. The middle part of the word is fid, F-I-D, which is a Latin derivative that means trust, faith, or loyalty. And E-N-C-E is a suffix that means the state of being. So confidence literally means being in a state with trust, faith, or loyalty. And so whenever I say that confidence is our birthright, but none of us are born with it, we have to develop the skills to do it. But whenever we get out into this thing called life, guess what? We're surrounded by other humans. And what do other humans do? They give you their definitions of everything. They give you their templates. They give you their projections. They give you their culture. They give you their reasoning. They give you everything that they've ever been exposed to. And a lot of times we don't realize that we absorb that on the level that we absorb it. And sometimes it's so intimidating to us that we begin to get the confidence and cockiness mixed up. But I want to explain to you what cockiness actually means. So, cocky actually means an arrogant, self-assertive person. It is also a male chicken or a rooster. And what do male roosters get up and do every morning at an ungodly time of day? And they don't give two flying clucks about who is mad that they are fixing to cock-a-doodle-doo. They're just going to get up and they're going to do it. So, a cocky person is an arrogant, self-assertive person, much like that rooster that wakes up way too early and thinks that the whole world is ready to hear his voice. And ness, N-E-S-S, the end of cockiness, is another state of being. So cockiness is being arrogant and self-assertive, whereas confidence is being with trust, faith, or loyalty to yourself. So the next time that you feel afraid to stand up in confidence because you feel like you are going to be perceived as cocky, I want you to understand that that's just a feeling, and now you have the fact that can help you discern between the two. And confidence in life is really about taking control. We talked a little bit about this with Chad, and Brock mentioned it too. You have to take control. It's why I talk about the reset method, the control, alt, delete. And when you hold all those three down together, then you can get a reset. But confidence is about taking control. And so, in true study hall fashion, I'm going to give you guys some actual tangible things that you can write down, that you can work through, so that you can begin to see what this looks like on the other side. And you can start to get back in tune with yourself, because so often, maybe we're working some type of plan and we're like, this just doesn't feel like me. Maybe the person that you're learning from is like, oh my gosh, you have to build on social media. But the thought of social media for you is like literally someone is coming up and grabbing your neck and just like choking your air off. Somebody might tell you that you need to go to networking meetings and you need to hand out 5 million business cards, but you are petrified of meeting strangers. And all of those things can require some level of personal growth where you can learn to be a little more comfortable with those things. We don't let fear stop us from doing those, but when we try it and we give it a valiant attempt and it's still not working for us, we have to have the confidence to make some shifts and to make some pivots. And so when we talk about what can we control, there are really, really only three circles, spheres, if you will, as Stephen Covey calls them. There are three spheres of your life, okay? So you have the sphere of control, you have the sphere of influence, and you have the sphere of concern. And how all three of these things work together is that the sphere of control is uniquely yours and it only pertains to you. Your sphere of control are all of your actions and your mindset. And so when we move into that step where we are alternating the people, places, and things where we spend time with, you cannot begin to alternate or make any changes in those things if you don't first recognize and understand and learn how to take control of your thoughts, your actions, your energy, what ROI you are getting. That means return on investment that you are getting for all of the things that you invest. And I'm going to tell you, the most precious resource that we all have is time. You cannot buy more of it. You cannot make more of it. It is a finite resource. And so when it comes to being in that sphere of control, it is everything that you say, it's what you think, and it is what you do, your daily actions and your daily mindset, because those things have a direct impact on us. That second sphere that we have is that sphere of influence, and this is our ability to impact others. So, a sphere of influence is everything that we can affect, but it's nothing that we can control because we can't control other people. We can influence them, but at the end of the day, we can lead that horse to water, but as the saying goes, we can't make it drink. We can influence it to go to the water hole, but we cannot make it drink. And so you have to understand, because a lot of people think that if I can control this enough, then I can influence. And they're two separate things. And when you try to use your control as an influence, you crack your confidence and you get out of alignment with what it is that actually works for you. And so that third sphere that we're going to talk about is the sphere of concern. And this is all about the external factors. And so this is everything that you cannot control or influence. So all of the things that are in that sphere, you can't control them and you cannot influence them. Those are areas of concern for you. And again, you can contribute to those things, but you cannot control them. So you may be wondering, well, Rebecca, what exactly can we control? Okay, so get out your pen and paper because these are the 5 things that you can control. Okay, the 5 things that you can control, the first one is your time management and your daily routine. And this one hurts a lot of people's feelings because they don't like to be honest with themselves and they don't like to have the discipline to say, you know what, I hadn't picked up the phone and called one person even to say hi or even ask for a referral. I've been there, y'all. I have been there and I have done that. I have gone through seasons like that, but it's like at the end of the day, you got to get your behind back in the saddle and you got to get your horse back going, okay? So your time management and your daily routine. So I want to ask you this. What does your time management and your daily routine look like when it comes to your business? And if you tell me that you work 8 hours a day, but you're generating 0 leads, having conversations with 0 leads, closing 0 leads, you don't have good time management or a daily routine. And I'm going to be very real with you because I had to hurt my own feelings on that before too, because I've sold myself that bag of lies before. Okay. So your time management and your daily routine is number 1. Number 2, your continuous education and your skill development. Okay. So you can always develop new skills and you can always continue your education. I continue my education on easily a monthly basis. Read books, listen to podcasts, tune into things just like this. Gain the confidence to call Chad, to call Brock, Chet, Colin, John Hart, Christian, everybody on here, and say, "Hey, listen, I'm kind of struggling with this. What you got? Can you point me in the right direction? Is this something you can help me with, or do you know who can?" Have the confidence to reach out to people. The third thing that you can control is your mindset and your emotional resilience. If you think the absolute worst is going to happen, it will. If you think you can't make changes in your life, you won't. If you believe that you are not good enough to achieve some dream or some goal, you won't. And here's a really strong one, and this one is a very triggering statement. I do realize this, but I want you to understand everything that everybody has ever said to you in your entire life. I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'm really focusing on the bad and the ugly things that people have said to you. If you allow their words to penetrate and take control of your mindset, you never will have the emotional resilience to understand that God made you absolutely perfect, no matter what those people think. Because other people's opinion, I have people that think very poorly of me. I have people that think very highly of me. I love me. God loves me. Jesus loves me. And that's what I rest my laurels on. So learn to control your mindset and your emotional resilience. I'm not saying don't get sad. I'm not saying don't get mad. I'm not saying don't get angry or hurt or anything like that, because all of those things are going to happen. But I encourage you, whenever you do find yourself in that and you recognize you need to pull your mindset or your emotional state up just a little bit, find something it is that makes you happy or shifts your mood. It could be a good dance song. It could be a Disney movie. It could be mindless entertainment. It could be some reality TV show. There are a lot of things that you can do to reset your mindset and your emotional resilience. The fourth thing that you can control is your technology proficiency, how good you are at using technology, systems and strategy, building your brand. Brittany is going to be talking about this here in just a little bit, but I'm telling y'all, the girl is a freaking machine with generating leads, closing leads, creating systems, and automating your processes. She's a genius at it, you guys. She genuinely knows how to be super proficient in technology. Okay. So I encourage you, if you find that that's something that you struggle with, have the confidence to have a conversation with Brittany. And the very last thing that you have control over is your networking and your professional relationships. There are some people who hate networking events, especially when there's a bunch of strangers there. That is me. I hate it. I'm always going to take someone with me that I know that can be that buffer for me, but I'm also super intentional and I tell that person, "Hey, I am challenging myself to make contact with 3 individuals and to exchange contact information." And for me, I don't exchange business cards. If you want my contact information, you can send me an email so that I get yours because I'm all about leverage. I don't want to spend money on printing a business card that you're going to throw in the garbage can. I don't think that's a very smart financial decision for me. But if you want my contact information, you can email me. Here's my email. Shoot me an email. In the subject line, just put the name of this networking event so that I can put the face with the name. And I'll leave it at that. But your networking and your professional relationships are everything. If you notice Chad Free, what did he do? He introduced you guys to part of his professional network. What did Brock do? Putting this study hall together for all of us tonight. He introduced you to his personal and his professional network of people and relationships. And I know that I'm out of time, but when it comes to building confidence, the first thing that I really want you guys to focus in on is that sphere of control and really start to dial in on those 5 things that you can control so that whenever it comes time to be like, hey, I need to make a little bit of change. I need to make a little bit of a pivot. You have the confidence to get on the phone with the right people, to send the email, to read the Substack articles, whatever it is. But you have the courage and the confidence to take that first action step. Because remember, the only thing you can control are your actions and your mindset. And with that, Brock, I'm turning that floor right back over to you.
I love it. Put some 5s in the chat. You guys all know my lovely 5s. Put some hearts, put some 5s in the chat. And Rebecca, you know my infamous question. I gave it to Chad. I'm going to give it to you. When I was one of the things that out of your 5, let me go back to it. I believe it was number 2, development and skill. I don't remember exactly what you said, but in Stephen Covey, habit number 5 is sharpening the saw. And that's what reminded me when I saw habit number 2. And I just feel like that to me is one of the most important ones because you can call people, you can talk to them, you can do whatever. But if you don't know what the hell you're saying, if you don't know how to close, if you don't know how to ask the right questions, if you don't know how to convert, if you don't know how to do that, you're in a lot of trouble and you're probably really poor. So to me, number 2 really resonated with me. Out of the 5 for you, which one really resonates with you out of them?
I think number 2 for sure, but without number 1, that time management and daily routine. So once you recognize that you have that problem and you're scared to pick up the phone because you don't know what to say, if you do not have the discipline to put that practice in your daily routine and to block out that time, even if it's 15 minutes, if you don't have the discipline to do that, you're never going to grow because there are 6 basic human needs that everybody is trying to. Every decision that we make is based on one of these six needs. There's certainty, there's uncertainty, there's significance, there's connection and love, there's growth, and the very last one is contribution. And I think it's safe to say, unless people on this call are unlike every other humans I've ever met, we all have a desire to contribute to something, whether it's our kids' fundraisers, whether it is a local school, whether it's a toy drive, whether it is a homeless incentive, whatever it is, to our church. We all have that innate ability and desire to contribute. But if you never grow, you will never be able to contribute. So if you don't take the time to develop those personal skills and really do the exercise, I think that you will most certainly never grow and you'll never be able to contribute.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca, put your information in the chat. I put your handler in here. Actually, I have it, so I could do it right there. I put her Instagram handler in there. I put her email in there. Put in the subject line study hall so that way she knows where you're coming from. I'm telling you all, it's important to reach out. It's telling you all to have these type of conversations. So Rebecca, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, our next guest, Brittany Hall. Now, we've been forcing her to talk about marketing the entire time, and I put marketing in the chats. Rebecca's talked about her marketing, but Brittany also is a two-headed monster. She has another topic, something else that she talks about in reference to desire and action. And I told her while Rebecca was talking, I said, "See, Brittany, we all wanted you to talk about marketing in some capacity, I guess. I guess in our unconscious brain, you have programmed us with marketing." But talk to us about what you got going on on your topic today, on what you got going on with this, Brittany. And
Yeah.
thank you so much for being on here today.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thank you. I'm going to set my timer because I want to be mindful of that. 20 minutes. Are you guys ready? I have a lot of energy, so buckle up. I want you to check in. I know that we're going to be on here for a little bit tonight, and you're going to listen to, five of us and Brock in between. But I want you to pop in the chat and just tell me, like, are you ready to lock in? Because I want to ask you to lock in with me for the next 20 minutes. And we're going to talk about desire, and we are going to talk about action because I love action. You want to know why? Because I know that when you marry your desire and your action in your business, that's how you make more money. And yes, I am really great at marketing. I'm great at sales. I love branding and making offers and how to position them in the market. That's really the bulk of what I do. But none of that matters if you're not clear on what you're building towards. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this today. And I know I have some people from my coaching group on here. So you're going to get a double dose of this today. This one's a little bit shorter than what we did earlier today, but I'm ready to, you ready to go? Right? All right, let's do this. So like I said, I work in, well, not just marketing, but I really work one-on-one with entrepreneurs. And then I have my coaching group, and I love to help people make more money because like Rebecca said, when you make more money, you can make a bigger difference in the world. Do we all know that money in the hands of good people does more good? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I would think that there would be nobody that would disagree with that. And if we want to make a bigger impact in the world, we need to make more money. I think it's our responsibility to use our gifts through the channel of our work to make a bigger impact in the world. Okay. So I want to talk about first desire, and then we're going to get to action. But first, we're going to really get in on this. Okay. And when I talk about desire, I am meaning like, what is it that you truly want out of your life? And I'm going to put this in a different term. What is the compelling future that you're building towards? Now, this is something I've heard multiple times. And like, it's like, okay, what's the future you're building towards? Like, yeah, okay, great. We all understand that. But when you put the word compelling in that sentence, that makes it a little bit more where you need to stop and think a little bit. And if for something to be really compelling for me, there has to be an emotional tie to it. It has to be something that I care deeply about. So how we know that it's driven by our desire, that compelling future, is that we know that it's almost like God-given, right? It's this vision that we have for our life. It's this vision we have for our future. And we would never be given the desires that we have if there wasn't somebody on the other side of it that it was going to impact. And it doesn't matter what industry you're in. We live on a planet full of people. So no matter what we do transactionally, there's always people on the other side. And so that's like, I want you to start thinking about that, Kay, because I'm going to ask you this question again later, but what's going to happen to all those people that you could impact if you don't go build that future? What's going to happen if you play small? They're going to miss out on the blessing, and then you're going to miss out on the blessing, right? Of like helping all these people out. And it's okay if it's through a transactional business. It's how we conduct our business that's, really like with integrity and love and values. That's what makes our work great, right? We can impact people positively. So everybody wants, right, like more closings, more income, more consistent revenue. So I don't think that having desire is really the issue. Okay. So how many of you, like, just raise your hands. How many of you want to make more money in 2026 than you did in 2025? I see hands going up. Yes. So Rick, we can all agree that desire isn't the issue. And like I said, this compelling future that you're creating, what happens is sometimes we think about this, what we really want, and then resistance comes up, right? That's just our ego. That's our fear. It's trying to keep us safe because it's somewhere we've never gone before. But the thing is because we're acting from our past when we have thoughts like that, and our past is irrelevant. It doesn't matter that you might not know how to create this future. It might not matter that you don't know how to get there. It might not matter that you've totally been a screw up in the past, that you've made mistakes, that you've done stupid stuff, that been bad with money, all that. None of that has any bearing on this future that you're creating. Okay, your past is a resource. I want you to write that down, actually, because that's really good, right? Your past is a resource. And your future isn't something that you're fixing because of your past. It's something that you're creating. Okay. And so when you can get out of that, like, I'm fixing this, it's bad, I've been doing this, like that's a certain paradigm that you're acting out of. But when you move into a place of creativity and desire and what you truly want, it makes it way more fun and really exciting to build this future, right? When you're acting from your past, it's just kind of like, ugh, right? It's not a great thing. So your desire is also a resource. Okay. And resources, we know, are just things that we pull from, things that we use. Okay, so your past and your desire are both resources. Now, what truly is desire? What is it? I love that Rebecca broke down, the words confidence and cockiness. I love the rooster, by the way. I had 2 roosters with my flocks of chickens. And let me tell you, when you own chickens, you really understand where all of these like phrases and things come from. It's like, this makes a lot of sense. But the definition of desire is the feeling that something more is available to you and you want it. That's a big piece of that. You want it. And here's a few ways to think about it. It's direction, so it points you towards your next level. It's energy. It creates movement when you act on it. It's awareness. It reveals what you're no longer satisfied with. That's a big one. And it's capacity. You do not desire things that you're not capable of growing into. And I want to just give this little caveat here. Your desires don't need to make sense to anyone. Okay, those goals, those dreams, that future that you want, it's not for anybody else. It's for you. It's for your family, for your, like, whatever, whoever's going to be affected by it, right? But the desire was put in your heart for a reason, okay? It doesn't, like, I've had people judge what I wanted so many times that it almost has become a game to me. When it's like people, those like haters on social media, and people are like, block them, block them. I'm like, well, enjoy the show, baby. Like, this is what I'm doing over here. Freaking lock in, like, watch. I don't care. You're not going to cheer me on. Freaking, it's like, I see you on my stories watching what I'm doing, but it's okay. You don't need to support me, right? Like, whatever, that's fine. I see the women are all like, yes, because we're dealing with that, aren't we? All right. So here's where most people get it wrong, okay? Because people think that this mental activity and thinking about what we want, even though it's important, it's not gonna move the needle by itself. Okay, I don't know if this is a bad thing to say, but I'm going to say it because it's true for me. I was so deep in personal development for probably 7 years while I was growing a business in a different industry. And I grew it. I grew it in the top like 0.00 something percent of the company. And I was just hustling, grew it to multi-million dollars. Okay. But I was so in personal development, which was great, but I almost got so burned out on it where I was like, I have learned as much as I think I am capable of learning right now. I need to go work. And then I went into a season for probably 3 or 4 years where I was just grinding until I completely burnt myself out. Making great money, completely burned out. So that's not great either, right? And now I've learned, because our past is a resource, what I want my life to look like and what I don't want it to look like, and then how I'm going to like take what I've learned and make it different this time around in this business that we're currently building. So desire alone doesn't change your life. Okay, you could do all the writing, journaling in the world, but if you don't move into action, if you don't pair the two together, then you're not really going to create the future that you want. So where people get stuck is they have desire without action. So they're thinking, they're planning, they're waiting, they're consuming, right? That's what I'm talking about. But just learning. Oh, maybe once I get off this Zoom, then I'll go do something. Right? No, you got to learn, but you got to do. That's how it works. Okay. So yeah, it might feel productive because you're doing things, but you're not actually doing the things that are going to go build your business. All right. And sometimes that's a hard pill to swallow because some personality types, they like to be in safety. They like to be in security. They're not sure if they're ready yet. They like to sit and wait back. I'm more of the personality type. I'm going to go do it and then correct it later. Right? But that, I have to tell you, that has served me well. That I'm like, with my competition, I'm making decisions and moving so quick, they'll never catch me. Okay. So like, that's the energy that you want to bring to your business. And then action without real desire is just going through the motions. It's inconsistent and you can get burned out because you're not doing it from a place that you truly value. Like you don't have that vision of where you're going. And so when things get hard, when somebody's mean to you, when they tell you, actually, no, I don't want you to list my house anymore, the deal falls through, those things are so much harder to swallow when you don't have like the vision. When you are so clear on your vision and what you're moving towards, none of that stuff will knock you off your path. Like nothing will rock you off your path. You're like, okay, who's next? All right, what's next? How are we moving through this? The obstacle becomes the way versus the stop sign. Okay. All right. So when you get clear on this desire, what happens is when you have a big desire, the match for that is also big fear comes up because it's so big, it's so unknown, right? And you don't know how you're going to get there. So the bigger the desire, the bigger your fear is going to be. And that looks like overthinking, procrastination, distraction, starting and stopping. Do any of you do this? Yeah. Yeah. I see some like blink at me if you're doing any of these. Procrastination is an interesting one. And I don't know if I said that. I think I said this when I was teaching in Brock's group last week, but procrastination, and I want you to write this down, is the arrogant assumption that God is going to give you another chance to do tomorrow what you should have done today. And you're probably, maybe you're hearing that again, but I think it's worth repeating. Procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God is going to give you the chance to do again tomorrow what you should have done today. How many of you can think of something you've been putting off? I see, I'm like, yep. Maybe that person you should have called, those leads you should follow up with. Maybe a situation with somebody got weird and you just like don't really know how to handle it. Anybody ever got one of those? It's like, like been there. Maybe you have somebody on your team that you know isn't a fit and you know that you should release them to go bless somebody else. That's a nice way of saying fire them, right? Like you're like, they need to go, but you're putting it off because you don't want to hurt their feelings because you love them, right? You care about them. I actually see that a lot. I partner with companies and come in and work with teams and work with the founders. And there's always a personnel thing like that. Like, I think we got some people on the wrong seats of the bus. So maybe that's where you need to make a decision and stop procrastinating. Okay. So yeah, where are you feeling this right now in your own business? And I'm curious, put it in the chat. Where do you tend, like, what's your thing? Are you an overthinker? Are you a procrastinator? Do you get distracted? Shiny object syndrome is a real thing, especially for high I and D type personalities. It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Man, I've worked with entrepreneurs like that, and guess what their business does? This. Because nobody knows what the hell's going on. Because it's constantly changing. Or are you a starter and stopper? Yes, I love this. Distracted, overthinking. Yeah, I'm going to take another book. And, you know, if we have a lot of people in like the financial space, all that, a lot of people in that space are usually very analytical. That's why you're great at what you do, because you're good at assessing data and, you know, and you're probably very strategic and stuff. So it's very normal. You have to know about yourself that you're a learner and you're careful. So that is where you can get slowed down if you aren't aware of that stuff with yourself. Starter stopper for sure. I love it. This is good. And guys, I want to tell you too, it's just awareness. None of this is bad. It's so powerful when we know ourselves. Like, I know that I could get shiny object syndrome real fast. And I also know that I can be a total bulldozer with people. I had to learn that working with teams, that I can't just like roll over people and be like, we're doing it my way. It might save time, but I'm going to like blow up a ton of people along the way, right? So just, this is all self-awareness. All right. Oh, Jada, you got some music going on. Okay. No, you're good. You're good. Somebody muted you out. You're good. I was gonna bust into a
I
dance.
love watching people's face reaction. Like,
I know, I'm
oh,
like, no, it's okay. Like, it's okay. All right. So here's the thing is we have the desire. We're getting into action, but then some decisions need to be made, right? And so the shift is that the desire without the decision to get after is just frustration. How many of you have been frustrated in your business? Like maybe you are right now, maybe you have been at some point. You know, I've been frustrated many times. The most beautiful things in my business have come from frustration. Like when I have just freaking had enough. And then I have a real conversation with myself and I go get after it, right? And I know, okay, something has to change because I am sick of feeling like this, okay? So if you're feeling frustrated, you just need to make some decisions. Decisions create clarity, they create energy, and they create momentum. I have never been in a place where I have felt like stuck, depressed, like that stuff when I'm in action. Like action always cures that for me. And I'm not talking about like clinical depression. So like I'm not getting into that. But like where you're just like feeling low. At the end of last year, actually in our business, like we were doing okay, right? Like things were going okay. But some months like we're not, and some months were, it's just nothing was consistent. Because we were kind of just like figuring out really like getting our feet under us of like, what are we doing here and creating like steady revenue. And in December, my husband told me, he goes, hey, if we don't figure something out, like this isn't going to work. Meaning with the business, not with our relationship. That would be bad. I would be like, what? But with the business, he's like, this isn't like, that's not going to work. You guys, like I literally, like my parents sent me some money for my birthday, like go buy a present. I was like, I'm going to deposit that in our bank account because we got to make payroll. Like that's because I know, like I'm betting on me and I have a big desire, right? And then guess what? That made me so pissed off that he had that conversation with me because I was like, what? Like, why are you being so negative? Like, we're building this thing, right? We have different personality types. He's very like analytical and I'm very like dreamer. But it was good. I'm so glad he was so honest with me and had that conversation. But you guys, I felt really, really like low and depressed for like a solid day because that's about my limit. And then I'm like, you need to get over it. And I went up to my office and I started drawing out a new plan for my business. And I got very, very clear on my desire. I got very clear on what I'm good at. I got very clear on what I want our future to look like. And I'll tell you that every single month in 2026, we have grown because It's not because I like had some magical thing that came up. I got focused. I made a decision that I'm sick of this shit every single month. Like, I mean, I'm just keeping it real with you. We're all adults here, right? There's no children on this Zoom. But I was sick of it. And so sometimes you got to get sick of it. And you got to go, I'm getting clear, I'm making a decision, and I'm getting into freaking action, whether I feel like it or not. Have you ever heard the saying, act your way into the feeling? You can never let your feelings and your emotions dictate your outcome because we are human beings. I don't want to go to I don't want to go to the gym. I want to get in shape, but like, I don't want to go work out. Like, does anybody feel like that? It's the same thing in your business. I want to make sales, but I don't want to cold call or I don't want to call leads. Guess what? You can't really have one without the other. So you're going to have to either say, well, I guess I don't really care about my results because my feelings are so big about this, or I'm going to put my feelings aside. I'm going to get into action and the results are going to come. Okay. All right. So another tip, a couple of things, and then we're going to wrap this up because I got like a minute and 15 seconds, which I'm going to pause that so it doesn't go off. When you decide, you're going to realize you stop negotiating. Stop negotiating your value with people, and you're going to stop negotiating like your action with yourself and with your emotions. Okay. You're going to stop dabbling. Okay. People never became great and wealthy by dabbling in their career. So if that's been you, go all in. Like, what would happen if you went all in on your action for the next 60 days? Like, what would happen? Like, we all know what would happen, right? You're like, I think I'd like make more money. I'd be like, things would be going. I'd feel confident because I'm winning. Like, a lot of things happen. And you stop chasing everything and you're focused. It becomes so easy to do the work when you are focused. You're like, I know exactly what I need to do today. Because you get organized, like Rebecca said. That's a real freaking thing. Like, get your calendar organized, get yourself organized. So I want to ask you in the chat, please pop this in. What's one area in your business right now where you haven't fully decided yet? Like, you're dabbling, you're playing small. Like, what is it? If you could just pop that in the chat. It's really powerful for other people to see. And it's powerful for you to maybe like just put that out into the world and admit it. Because then we go, yeah, I put that out there. So now I need to do something about it. Okay. I love it. Brock, you're blowing up the chat. All right. So just like some practical application as we are wrapping this up, because I believe everything in our business comes down to mindset, skills, and action. Everything that holds us back falls into one of those categories. Either our mindset's off. So the mindset today is desire is a signal. It's not a distraction. And if you feel fear around it, it means you're moving in the right direction because that means that you're not playing small. Remember, the bigger the fear, the bigger the desire. Okay, so that's the mindset for today. The skill. I want you to identify what's actually the action that you need to take that's actually going to make you money. Okay? And if it's networking, great. But are you having lunches with people and calling it networking and it's not really moving the needle? Like, I mean, I kind of have a whole thing with networking. I know it's very big in the real estate industry, but like, I'm like, these people are just going to lunch and having a reason to drink in the middle of the day. Like, I don't think business is being done. Like, if that's offensive, sorry, but like, I don't know what's going on at some of these networking things. I've tried them. I think I'm in the wrong places. I don't know what's happening. Also, the skill of stop overcomplicating and staying focused on the things that matter. Okay, and then the action. I want you to pick one thing. Like, if you just do it this week, pick one thing that's a revenue driving activity. I will give you a hint. Like Brock said, marketing and sales, that is my jam. The one thing that without fail, that will always, always affect your revenue is how many people you are talking to. That's the thing. We do business with people. Go talk to people. Okay. And then I want you to commit to it daily. And anything that distracts you from this, just remove it. Obviously, we can't remove our children, right? But like we can. I'm like, and it's funny, I'm like, I'm wearing this. I'm like on a sideline constantly, like 5 days a week, I'm on a sports field. But do you know what? It's not a distraction and it's not an excuse. Because when you're figuring out your time, you got to figure out the time when you're going to get to work. Okay. Well, that was a lot. Did I tell you guys, like, right? Like, I talk fast, got a lot of energy, and I get wound up. So that's why I said you got to lock in with me for 20 minutes. But that is it. So, Brock, I'm going to throw it back over to you. Oh, thank you for dropping this link. Do you want me to talk about that really quick?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys a free guest pass to my community. I teach every Tuesdays at 12 Central, so 1 o'clock Eastern. It's 30 to 45 minutes. I always say 30 to 45. It's usually 45, but I never go over because once again, I'm like a real time nut.
She just pauses the timer. That's why she never
That's
goes
it.
over.
Yeah. No, I go by the clock on that one. But yeah, so because I know that, you guys got a little taste of me today, but if you want to come sit in on one of my coaching sessions, I would love for you to be a part of that group. It's really awesome. I just love seeing the growth in there. And so come check it out. You can register with that link and you'll get the reminders and everything, but it's every Tuesday at noon. Oh, look at people are already registering. Oh, look at you guys. Okay. So yeah, come check it out.
I love it. Good job. Guys, give her some round of applause. Give her a 5 in the chat. I'm still laughing, and for those that I'm looking at some of the speakers and those that speak in general, and when you pause the timer, Brittany, you're like, oh, I'm running out. I'll just pause that timer so we'll never run out of time. I was dying laughing. I was like, I'm gonna have to try that one out. But I just love your energy. I love what you bring to the table. We put her information. Brittany, I don't have if you had a phone number or an email that you want to put in the chat for anybody that like to reach out to you, have a conversation with you. Somebody wants to know your Instagram because Rebecca had her Instagram. So if you could put that in the chat there for everybody. So because of its time, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. No nap time over here. We're going to keep going. Now, Brian Galkey, I met him for the first time in Nashville, Tennessee. And guys, this guy is crazy. This guy is just like one of those geniuses that he put a picture of me on the main screen while we were at the summit, and he freaking nailed me to a T. Not so much did he nail me to a T, but my girlfriend Wendy was there, and she's like, did you two like talk beforehand? I was like, no, I just met this guy. She was just like, I cannot believe he was just like nailing you left and right with your body language. And then Brian calls me up. He's like, bro, listen, man, I'm adding some little artificial intelligence, some AI to my jam. I hope that's okay. And I was like, bud, that's just what it seems like everybody is doing. So whatever you got, man, I can't wait to hear how you take everything that you got here, throw it into artificial intelligence, using this as authentic, using it as relationships. I don't even know. So guys, this is the first time I'm hearing it. I'm excited to hear from you, brother. I'm gonna let you take it away, man. Enough of me.
Sure. So can everybody see that okay? Oh, all right. Can y'all see that screen?
There you go. Now I got
Perfect.
you.
All right. Perfect. So yeah, what we're here to talk today about is just a very particular set of skills. And I do have a timer here because I will go over 20 minutes being a speaker. So what we're going to talk about is how to decode people, and that is how to understand them in a completely different way. So if any of y'all are in Nashville, this will be a little bit of a refresher because in 20 minutes, I can't teach y'all a whole lot of new stuff. But the most important thing right now is we have to figure out how do we build rapport with people and then convert and make them either our friends, our customers, our romantic interests. It doesn't matter what it is. And you guys get to benefit from all the courses, books, classes that I went and took to learn how to study people. And the skills that we're going to share today is what helped me go from an introvert on the help desk to a regional vice president of sales. And when we get done, kind of like Brock was talking about, people are like, hey, can you read palms? Are you a wizard? Or can you predict the future? No, it's none of that stuff. But what we're going to talk about today is those skills that helped me the most were how to understand people based on their facial features. Then how do you listen to people's words? How do you see what they put in their text messages, what they put in their emails? And then last but not least, is what does their body language say? And more importantly, what does your body language say when you actually get to be in a room instead of on Zoom with people? So everything we're going to talk about, I'm a huge fan of Batman. What is he? He's a superhero with no superpowers. It's everything in his tool belt. And that's what we're going to talk about today is just how to help you guys reach your goals by learning to look at people differently. Because we only have 20 minutes, scan the QR code. This is just all the books I recommend you read. Everything from Never Split the Difference, Chris Voss. I keep it behind me right here. There's body language books, The 5 Love Languages, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. If there's ever been a book that I read once and I thought, man, I should almost read this again, I put it on my website because if it helped me, it can help y'all at the exact same time. But what we're going to talk about today is really how you can go and look at people's faces and their LinkedIn pictures and everything and figure out like how do you understand people on a whole other level. So for example, if these three people walked in to my office or if I walked into theirs, I know I have to treat all three people completely different. Person number one, they need more time to make a decision. Person number two, you better get to the point pretty damn fast. And person number three, she's a little bit different. And that's because she's got different facial features on each side of her face. And the really crazy part is when I start talking about this, people go, "Ah, this is just ridiculous. What do faces tell us?" But we talk about them all the time. So we say phrases like "keep a stiff upper lip," "take one on the chin," "I'm all ears." And the reason we say those phrases is literally those phrases tell us how to understand people, and people's faces absolutely tell us how to talk to them. And faces are like maps, and maps are what? Where did you start and where are you now? It's not a GPS. It's not where are you going in the future, but where and how should where are you today in life and how should I talk to you and treat you based on what your face says? People ask, well, what it's based on? It's based on the study of the 43 muscles in the face. The mind creates movement, movement creates muscle. This goes all the way back to the Greeks. They just started looking at people and figuring out, well, how do we understand people in a different way? We understand body language as our first language because before there were words, before there were languages, our safety depended on how we interacted physically with people. Did they have something in their hand that could hurt us? That's why today, when a stranger walks in the room, we first look at their eyebrows, which we're going to talk about, and then we look at their hands and say, is there anything that can hurt me? Even though we haven't been in that type of environment for a very, very long time, it's our natural instinct. It's a survival mechanism that's built into our DNA. Well, faces are no different. We've learned what different facial features means. We've now just put words to it, and they are part of our everyday language. The really crazy part is it was actually part of the academic system until Henry VIII said, I don't like the idea that beggars and vagabonds can use this skill against their fellow man. And he banned it. Until then, it was taught in English universities. So if you were lucky enough to get to go to school, you learn how to understand people in a completely different way. And this is usually when people go, oh, no, there's no way. Well, what happens if you have a stroke on this side, your left brain, right side of your face goes limp? Have a stroke over here, right brain, left side of your face goes limp. That just goes to show that the thoughts in our brains control the muscle structure. And so when we make faces, we don't think, oh, I'm going to sit and make this face, other than we think we want to smile, but we don't have to actually think about how we do. We just feel like smiling. Well, there's entire courses called micro expressions, which are what do and how do our faces change within fractions of a second? We have an automatic response to something. Well, just like every other muscle in the human body, the more muscle gets used, the larger it gets, the less it's used, the more it shrinks. And that's where it all starts. Well, even though it's taken out of college universities, authors took courses on it to learn how to describe characters in a book, and artists took it to learn how to draw characters. That's why when you go anywhere in the world, witches look the same, devils look the same. But you can go through and all the required reading we had in school, Edgar Allan Poe, Dickinson, they all took courses in something known as physiognomy. Now, why is this important again? Because we all had required reading and we grew up with comic books, movies, television, everything. And we were subtly being taught how to understand people in a completely different way that most people aren't going to know, but you will after today. And I didn't mean to rhyme, but it happens. But when we get to talking about AI, Brock's right and he's wrong at the same time. I am going to talk about AI, but I'm going to talk about how freaking scary it is right now because in Q1 of this year, just Q1, 217,000 people lost their jobs. I don't know if y'all been paying attention. This month, Oracle laid off 30,000, Facebook laid off 10. UPS, I think, is going to lay off another 30,000. And that's just in this month alone. We're talking April. So the important part about this is you have to learn people skills because that's the only thing AI can't do right now. It's expected to create up to 800 million jobs laid off by 2030 because it can do up to 65% of tasks that people are doing today. Now, what you're not hearing in the news is it's not just the people getting laid off. It's younger people can't get jobs because the entry-level jobs are being taken away as well. So it's all the more reason why we have to learn soft skills, all the skills I mentioned before, how to understand people by their language, body language, faces, what they say, what they text, what they email, all give us hints about other people. And this is the only thing that AI can't do is be in a room with people, even over Zoom like this today. Yes, there's AI avatars, but you can tell when it's an AI and when it's a real person. Now, when you learn soft skills, when you learn people skills, 28% higher win rate, 50% better peer-to-peer connections. Why is that important? Because at the end of the day, when companies lay people off, we're number a majority of the time unless you have relationships with someone. It's always those people who are tight with different people at different levels that they get to stay when the other 30,000 get shown the door. So that's part of personal branding is not just yelling your name, but it's how you make other people feel at the exact same time. And why is this important to business owners? Because 63% of the reason that people leave us is over miscommunication. And if you can learn how to speak to people in their own language in a different way, you'd be amazed at what it can do. So I am going to talk about what I think is the most important version of AI, but that is you have to actually be interested in people. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm anti-AI. Like normally when I'm on stage, I wear my Meta glasses so I can take pictures, I can take video. I use Opus Clips every day. I use ChatGPT because I write out in my notes what I want to say, and then I throw it in and say, okay, make it sound better. Now, I know the popular thing in AI right now is, well, go write all of my posts. Well, when you do that, you have no authentic voice. So I encourage you to go out and actually write your posts and then have AI fix it and make it look sexier. And the reason why is because the hardest thing for business owners, we're in sales of any type, is people think that we're all about commission. And that's immediately they're put on the defensive. They want to run away as soon as you tell them what you do. It's just the way it works. I mean, the only other job that's worse than that is if you say you were with the IRS or the DMV. But otherwise, when you say sales, people just tend to back away at that time. So now what we have to show people is that, yes, but I'm focused on you. And I do have a job to do, but I want to work with you. I care about you as a customer. And that's what changes it because this day and age, we don't want to be treated like a number. We want to know you're thinking about me. We're having conversations. You're not just pitching me the entire time. And you're only pitching me and talking to me if you truly believe that you can help me. And sometimes the best thing we can do is not give someone our product or our service or take them on as a client. Sometimes letting them go a different direction or setting them up, introducing them to somebody that's a better fit is the right thing to do, even though sometimes our wallet suffers from it. But if you can make people feel seen and heard and connected, that's how you change everything. So I'm gonna answer a few quick questions. People ask, well, what about genetics? Your face doesn't change over time. We already talked about how the mind creates movement creates muscle. And just like every other muscle in our body, it changes. So if you look at me of 18 versus 38, completely different faces in different areas. My eyebrow shapes changed. My ears changed. They used to be farther away from my head. They're closer to my head. My eyes used to angle down more. And this is when I was 38. You can look at me at 51, my current age, and I'm still look different. But our faces are constantly changing all the time. People always want to know, instead of sales, it's like, can you tell me who's a liar and who's a cheater? No. People go, well, Brian, what about Botox? What about lip enhancement? All that. All that is people don't know why they're getting these procedures done, but it's the exact same thing. People are getting fuller cheeks with collagen because we know we're attracted to large rounded cheeks, but nobody told you why. And that's the funny thing. I live literally across the street as a plastic surgeon's office, or an aesthetics office, I should say, not plastic surgeon. And I went over there and I said, do you guys know why you do all the different things? They're like, no. And I explained to them, like, oh, that's the reason we do it. I'm like, yeah. So we're doing all these things without even realizing why, but it's because we know that affect change will literally affect how people trade us over time. And before there was Botox, there was makeup. And so it's kind of crazy what's out there. But what you're going to learn real fast today is the first proactive skill, meaning that I don't have to be in the room. I don't have to wait for you to move with body language. I don't have to do anything else, but it's also a reactive skill at the same time. And the cool thing is it can be used over Zoom or in the room when you're talking to people. Now, a very simple thing I want everybody to do going forward is go grab a Post note and a pen and draw an arrow and put that Post note right where your camera is, right here. And when it's your time to talk, look at where the arrow is. Because too often we're doing presentations like this and we're losing business because people are losing faith in us just because we trust eye contact at the same time. And that's why I'm a huge fan of body language. I teach it as my secondary technique. But who would you rather talk to? The person who's always studying your body language at the bottom, or the person on the top that's there? And that's what's changed. As in the old days, you talked about why you were the best product and everything else. But if you want to survive, you have to let the people in the room know I'm focused on you and not me. That is what changes everything. Because when you can make people feel seen and heard, that's how you build rapport with people. That's how you build relationships. And that's how you get referrals. And sometimes referrals are like, hey, have you met my friend Brian? Or, hey, I know who you need to do business with. It's not always a single transaction because that is a temporary win, but relationships and referrals are the long-term win. And the cool thing is, you need to study skills that work on everybody, complete strangers, vendors, coworkers, you name it. But we're also becoming disconnected from our friends and family. So we have to learn to over communicate with them. But especially like I have a 9-year-old kid and they're growing up around technology more than they are teachers and people in class. It's, hey, pay attention to your tablet instead of group work projects. But this can be used in any industry. So I don't care what industry you're in. Every single study, go and look it up on ChatGPT, compare it to Claude, compare it to Gemini. They all say soft skills are the skills of the future if you know how to use them. Now, the way you can use AI to cheat is you can go and look up people, text messages, emails, look them up on LinkedIn, start figuring out how do I talk to the person? Because people tell you in their text messages how they want to be talked to. Same thing in their emails. But if I'm going to go look them up for facial features, I start on LinkedIn and I move over to social media. Why? I want a current picture of people. So now I'm going to get into teaching you guys real fast. Now we did the background because we got 8 minutes left. And that is, if you don't think eyebrows are important, go and Google people without eyebrows. And if you don't think eyebrows matter, look at how changing them changes how we see the babies. So those little changes over time impact us down to how we look at people and go, oh, okay, well, this is how I'm going to talk to them. And you can take away that one feature from a person and completely changes who you think you're talking to. But one of the books that's in that QR code that I mentioned earlier is this book right here called The Light Switch. And it says every time a stranger enters the room, the first place we look is here in eyebrows to see are they raised like, hey, good to see you, or are they furrowed like a foe? Well, since we're already looking here naturally, why not figure out what the takeaways are to figure out who that person is? And by the way, the hack on this is eyebrows lead to eye contact. So if you're nervous meeting new people, you get credit for looking them in the eye when you're looking at their freaking eyebrows. So we talk about highbrow humor and lowbrow humor. Highbrow humor is when a comedian tells a joke, we laugh, or sorry, we think about it and then we laugh, versus lowbrow humor is Jackass and Three Stooges, instantaneously laughing. Well, that's based on when you look at people, people have higher eyebrows. What's high? Anything more than a finger above their eye is considered a high eyebrow. If you pretend like foreheads are like streets where data races down the forehead to get into our eye, the higher the eyebrow, it's like a speed bump. The higher the speed bump is, I can only go so fast, go over the speed bump, and I can try and speed up again. But if somebody's eyebrow literally sits right above their eye, like almost on top of it, that's like putting a speed bump by the stop sign. That is, they want information very, very fast. So when you walk into a room, if you have to present to people, you start looking, is it more people like on the left? Then I need to talk a little bit longer. So people who have high eyebrows, they hate that we only have 20 minutes. But people on the right who have low eyebrows, they're freaking loving it and wondering, why did we get 20 minutes? So you learn to start changing your presentations based on the people that are there. So now that you guys know about eyebrow height, the other thing I'm going to teach you is eyebrow shape. So when you start learning about eyebrow shapes, what you learn is there's even Legos knows there's 3 basic shapes, and it's straight, angled, and rounded. So straight eyebrows are get straight to the point, facts, figures, data. I mentioned before, we've been influenced by television and movies. We all know that the character who plays Spock does not look like that with his eyebrows in real life. Sci-fi films are some of the best sci-fi movies, comic books, you name it, because they overemphasize characteristics on things. You know who else is really good at that? Disney. Go watch Disney movies. What does Megamind have? A big brain. What's he known for? Being smart. We've been influenced our entire life. We just haven't been taught to pay attention to what we're being taught. So it's kind of crazy. So when you see straight eyebrows, we think logic, facts, figures, data. If you see angled eyebrows, it's what's my angle? Help me understand it. Meaning like I have angled eyebrows. I need to understand the material, then I can teach it to others. So if you see somebody with angled eyebrows, they want to be involved in the process and they need to understand it so then they can go teach it to other people at the same time. And then the third and final one is rounded eyebrow people think about the people around them. So when we watched Oprah's show, it wasn't about Oprah. It was about who did she interview and who was in her audience, or what was she going to give her audience. It just happened to be named after her. This is a statue of Mother Teresa that I saw in Poland. Look how rounded those eyebrows are. And she's known as a big humanitarian. So how does this impact you? Well, when you meet people, like I like to talk about how do I get upgrades in hotels? Oh, pardon me. And that is, I ask based on the person behind the desk. So if they have straight eyebrows, it's like, I'd like an upgrade. Get straight to the point. If they have angled eyebrows, I'm Brian Galke. I'm a Diamond member. Is an upgrade available? Because what's their angle? They're helping out a Diamond member. And if they have rounded eyebrows, I say, oh, that drive-in, that flight in was so long. I hate really small hotel rooms. I get kind of claustrophobic. can I get an upgrade? I get upgraded 3 out of 4 times whenever I go anywhere. What's the worst case I get? I don't get an upgrade, but I make the person behind the desk feel seen, heard, and valued when most people dismiss them. And that changes life as well. So the other thing I'm going to show you guys real fast is a warning sign. That is, our eyes are like camera lenses. So when people are talking to you and their lower lid is rounded, then they're open to listening to what you're talking about. But if in the middle of that conversation they suddenly go flat, you've just flatlined. Something you said or did has really upset them, and they're trying to mentally shut you out. If you don't address it right then and there, they'll leave the room and you'll never see them again. But if you learn to pay attention, and what am I doing? I'm giving them my time and attention, and I'm giving them my focus. And when I see that, it provides me with an opportunity to do CPR and save the deal at the same time. So even though she's smiling, she put a barrier in between her at the same time. So all you really have to remember today is the acronym FACE. Go find the person on social media or LinkedIn, or read through their text message or emails. Assess the features that they have. So high eyebrows or low eyebrows, and what shape is what y'all learned today. And think, are they just like me, or do I need to change the way I want to say it so I'm speaking their language at the same time, and then translate it back to them? And the reason that we're all here today is because rapport is how you build relationships. Relationships are how you get everything in life, but relationships are also how you keep everything in life. And this day and age, when, let's be honest, why are we using AI? To get rid of other people's services, jobs, and everything else, and to do things for cheaper? Well, we're willing to pay for any product or service that we have a relationship with, because if not, it's a race to the bottom. And I talked about this earlier. Kids need our help more than ever. So learn these skills so you can teach them to people that weren't taught the right skills. This device connects us to the world, but it disconnects us from each other at the same time. And we gave those devices to the kids, where it's so fun to make fun of Gen Z right now because they don't know how to talk to people. Well, when this device gives you the illusion of perfection, we gave them that. And that's why they're nervous talking to normal people. So everything you learned today, this is just exposure. Every single speaker is giving you something, but if you don't go practice it and gamify it, you don't learn it. The best place to practice most things is in the service industry, people, because they're overworked, they're underpaid, and people don't treat them like people anymore. So if you want to learn more, great, reach out. I've got courses, cards, coaching. Bring us into your offices. We can train the team, train the trainer, you name it. But where do I always start? I started with the flashcards, because instead of trying to memorize a book, I just went out and I learned one feature and then I moved on to another one. When I bought the book, I got overwhelmed by it. I can show you the book. I guess right here, but it was so much information, it overloaded me. But when I could do one card at a time, that's when I really learned to master things, no different than when we were in school. And that is, I was given the textbook, but when it came time for the test, what did I create to learn? Flashcards. But the most important thing about today is you just have to go out and focus on other people, because it can change a life. If you give someone your time and attention, it can also save a life, because people feel so disconnected and like, why am I not living my best life like everybody else on social media is? They just don't feel seen. And if you go and focus on other people, everybody wins. So let me stop sharing this. All right.
I love it, man.
Thanks,
Guys, we
Rob.
put his cards in the link. And Brian, put whatever information that you want inside the
Sure.
chat so that way people can reach out to you. Guys, we do 20 minutes. I mean, we do it on purpose. Okay. It's done on purpose that you get to taste the ice cream. You get enough. The speakers hate it. And I say that in a nice way. It's so hard because I have so much value, but it's done to be able to let you taste the ice cream. That's what so you can reach out to them, have a conversation with them. If the speakers that I brought here, if the leaders that I've been on my show, if if they kept to themselves or didn't want to give out, like, well, I'm not going to give out my personal information, Brock. I don't want them to call me. I just want to be able to just show my face and then I'm going to leave. Like, no, they want to help you. Okay, these are all skills from Chad to Rebecca to Brittany to Brian, and we do have Drew. So stick around. Like, we got one more person. I know it's late. Hell, I'm exhausted, to be honest with you. I've freaking been talking since 7:30 on this damn thing, and I was like, But the thing is this is what separates you right now is leaning into these people and hearing what they have to say because it does matter. Like when you were doing that, like I want to do an upgrade. Like Wendy looks at me out, like we'll be at hotels and like her kids will say something and be like, no, let Brocco do it. Like she's like, we always get upgrades, we always get early check-ins, we always get late checkouts. Like I did a 3 o'clock checkout. She's like, I don't even know what you tell them, but I'm so happy you're here because I didn't want to get up. But like it's just how you have these conversations. Remember Brian sharing with me when we were in Nashville, and I was just like, wow, okay, yeah, I really like that. So thanks, brother, for you sharing and thank you for putting your information out there.
Of course, happy to be here. I'll be on the back.
So guys, we got his information in here. We're continuing the last one. Our Mr. Man. We haven't seen Drew in a while. Drew's been running around doing a lot of things. I can't share all his secrets, but the guy's got some really amazing things going on. He's huge in the artificial intelligence. He's really, really big in the artificial intelligence world. I've been blessed to know Drew for the last probably almost 2 years now. He's the one, you all, Drew, they've been always wondering who the mysterious man was, but he's the one that got me my shirt that says "Hey Leo" on it. And for those that don't know, my dog's name that's literally right here laying in the back is Leo. So like it's been they're like, Brock, how did you get that shirt? I was like, you just gotta know the right people. So without further ado and taking up too much more time of everybody, I'm gonna send it over to you, Drew. What up, brother?
What up? Is that dog really asleep in the background, dude?
Yes, he is literally snoozing.
What you guys can't all see is that I have a 11-month-old puppy underneath my desk. I have no idea, Justine, what she's chewing on, but she is having a great time. So cool. Hey, I'm word jam for a bit. For those that don't know me, I studied jazz percussion in my undergrad. I was a child actor on daytime television. Thought one day I could put those two together. Now, Justine, you want to see the puppy? All right, because Justine asked, this is the puppy. All right, this is my girl. Okay. All right. So, she's getting so big, Katie. I know. She's huge and she sleeps on the bed too. So for those who don't know, I studied jazz percussion undergrad. I was a theater person. I was on a soap opera for a number of years as a kid. As someone who studied jazz percussion, I like to think of myself as very rhythmic. Okay? And I still play professionally. I play Broadway. I still play a lot. But a dream I always had was to be on Broadway. Not in the pit, but actually on stage. And so when I was about 32, no, maybe like 29, I said to my wife, hey, can you give me the runway so that I can go audition for Broadway? And my now wife said, sure, I love you so much. Brock, you've met her. She's the light of my life. So here I go. I said, the only role that I want is to be Elder Price in Book of Mormon. Justine, you ever see Book of Mormon? Katie, you ever see Book of Mormon? It's on Broadway right now. John, if you haven't, Google it. Book of Mormon is by the people who created South Park. And it's about being a Mormon. And it's about looking for, it's about the journey, about finding yourself and going door to door. And let me tell you, if you haven't read or listened to it, you need to go listen to it. I wanted to be the lead in that show. And I remember the exact day, October 2nd, I started visualizing the final note in that show. I visualized myself on stage. I visualized my late mother in the front row looking up at me, just so happy and watching me sing this final note. I get chills talking about it. I knew the smell. I knew the way the clothes felt on my body because they were sticky, because I'd just done a show. I knew how my muscles felt. For exactly 20 days, I visualized that. And I kid you not, Brock, you've heard this before. On the 21st day, I get a call from my agent. Hey, we want to see you on for Elder Price, his understudy on Broadway. I said, what? So I go to the first audition. I walk in and my ego kind of takes over. I walk in like I'm the shit. I walk in, crushed. John, I crushed it. It was just like a reading. I knew I could act, right? I've got the chops. They're like, hey, we'd like to hear you sing. So I'm like, a Broadway director wants to hear me sing? Sure. So I belt out this. If anybody right now, like Rebecca, if you have, which you've seen the show, Justine, if you haven't, go to Spotify and just type in Book of Mormon, Hasadiga Ibowai. You're going to figure it out how to spell it. Hasadiga Ibowai. Rebecca, you've seen the show. You know the song. Brock, listen to the song and then make sure you go to church on Sunday to repent for listening to that song. Okay? Next one. He goes, can you sing? So I sing. He's like, that's fantastic. Can you do a scene with someone else? Cool. Done. So I go home. I'm like, this is great. I'm already thinking about it in my head. Oh, I'm going to have everyone come to my first show. I'm going to be on a Broadway stage. Then they call and they go, we'd like to see you in for the tap dancing call. I go, tap dancing? For sure. I'm a jazz percussionist. Okay. I can play drums. So I go, I pull up, if you guys Google tap dancing audition for Book of Mormon, I Googled it and I showed it to my wife. And I said, hey, honey, can you show me how to do this in about 5-10 minutes, maybe an hour? She goes, you're out of your mind. And so for some reason, I couldn't get my mind to connect my feet the way my hands play drums. But I still went to the call. And it was the most embarrassing moment of my life. Because in sports, when something's cool, I go up to Brock and I'm like, yo, Brock, good job. That ball well. Job. But that's not the way it is in theater. In theater, you don't go up and congratulate people. They look at you like, ew, you're trying to take my job. You suck. And this got in my head more and more and more. And in this room, I looked like a 500-pound bull running around a china shop and got laughed out of the room. Now, that's not why I'm telling you this story. I'm telling you this story because in that moment, I got to live what I thought I wanted, which was to be on Broadway. You see, our mind is this amazing thing that when you tell it to focus on something, it literally cannot tell the difference between what is fake and what is real. So how often right now are you letting your mind focus on what if it all goes wrong? What if all of a sudden I don't get another closing? What if I just don't hit 20 closed deals this year? You know, have we all done that before? Katie, Jessica, Justine, Patrina? Yeah, we think about this. We think about what could go wrong. I want to challenge you in the next 10 minutes to think about, John, what could go right? What if it all goes right? And think about that. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to walk you through how to use AI tools to actually create a visualization that can help prime your brain to focus on what is going to go right. Now, here are the tools that I'm going to be using, Rosario. I'm going to be using something called Claude. If you have AI and you use ChatGPT, I think you should punt it and get rid of it. Just like I think you should punt and get rid of your Android phones, Brock, like if you have an Android phone. But I think what you need to do is use Claude. It's amazing. I'm also going to use something called 11 Labs and something called Suno.ai. In my work right now, these are kind of the trifecta of tools that you need in your business. And if all of this is exciting to you, we're going to come back at the very end. I do an AI install program where for a number of hours, I meet you. We do a one-time AI install to install Claude into your business with the right connectors, the right plugins, the right skills, so that you can have a team of AI agents working for you. But here's what's really cool. We're going to do this live together. I'm going to show you the tool, and I'm going to take one of you. I'm going to triage, and we're going to talk about what if it all goes right, and we're going to build what is narratively effective, a voiceover, if you will, that you can then listen to every single day. Just imagine this, Brock. Every single morning, you go on your morning walk, because I know you do morning walks with Leo in the back. And if you put on your AirPods, or if you're like Mr. Brian, and you put on your Meta glasses and you listen to a track with music, and it's just telling you what would it be like if it all worked out, and you could visualize it. I don't know, Brock, do you think that would help you get in the right mindset to win the day?
Every morning, bro. That's what I need.
every morning. Let's do it. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you. I don't have fancy slides. This is just going to be a fun walk through all of us together. So what y'all see behind me is my entire screen, which is not what I wanted to share. But what I do want to share with you is this right here. This is Claude. Now, I want to have one person, if I can. Patrina, I love that you're on this call. How are you? Can we jam for a minute, you and I?
We can.
What's up? Okay. Tell me, like, it is December 31st, 2026. You've accomplished whatever goal you set out. Like, what is that goal that you want to accomplish by the end of this year?
To help build 2 homes in the Dominican Republic for less fortunate families.
Okay. Can I ask why?
My nephew has family there, and their living conditions are really, really poor, and they are grateful for so many things. And it doesn't take our money here goes a long way over there. And I don't
Okay.
have need for anything else, so I would rather put my money there than buy more clothes and purses and all those things.
Did you say it's your nephew?
Yes, my nephew has family there.
You know, and what does this mean? Like, what does it mean for you? You've accomplished it. How does it impact you?
Oh, the tears might fall. Um,
Okay, I'm cool with that if everyone else is.
thank you. It would make, I would see a better, larger return on my investment.
What do you mean larger return on your investment?
I feel like if I spend money on things that I don't need, as far as like, I don't have a want for anything as cars, clothes, anything like that. So when I mean a bigger return on my investment, mean that their life would be so much more enriched with
Mm,
basic things of life.
I love that.
Did that
I
make
love that.
sense?
And listen, Patrina, you got people out there who are watching right now that are throwing up hearts. So thank you, everybody, for being just good humans.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you need to get there?
I would need to increase my income.
Okay. How do you do that?
Uh, Having more conversations, making more phone calls, asking for business, showing up as my best version of myself,
Okay.
stepping outside of fear, getting out of my own head, removing boundaries that I have placed.
Okay. Well, hold on now. I got a laundry list. I'm going to try to be as specific as humanly possible. All right. So the question is, how much more would you make? How much of an investment would you have to make down there? Are we talking like 100 grand, 200 grand?
I said about 125.
You knew that number faster than I could say it. Okay. So you need an additional 125.
hmm
You sell real estate, yeah?
Yes.
Katrina, what's your average sales price?
I say 425.
Okay. What's your average commission? Like percentage wise? Is it 2.5, 3%? What?
For right now it's 3, but it's about to increase to 3.5.
What's up? I don't think it's increased. Everybody on this call, drop Patrina's name in the chat because she will tell you how she's getting it to increase to 3.5. What's up? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm just leave it at 3%.
Okay.
We know we need to talk to more people, right, on a day-to-day basis.
hmm
And if you and I were jamming together and working one-on-one, I'd be like, okay, tell me more. How many people do you talk to on a regular basis? How are the conversations? What's your conversion like? We really get into the nitty-gritty. But for all intents and purposes, what I want to do right now is I'm going to take everything you just told me. I might add
Okay.
a little bit of artistic liberty just because I know you a little bit.
hmm
And we're going to have Claude create a second person narrative as if it is finished and read that story back to us.
Okay.
Cool. Let's rock and roll.
Excited.
If I can offer you all one thing that is going to change your life dramatically, it's something called Whisper Flow, WISPRFLOW. If I was thinking ahead, I could be a better affiliate salesperson and just give you my link, but I want y'all to go use it. Whisper Flow literally just allows me to talk to anything on my devices, saves me 20 hours a week. Katie uses it. It is so good. So watch, I'm going to now talk here. You're not going to see anything come up because I'm talking. right? And it'll come up as I'm talking. So, hey, I'm sitting here with my very good friend, Patrina. I want you to help me build a second person narrative that tells the story of her accomplishing her goals, her big goal for 2026. I want you to take some artistic liberty here as you create this second person narrative that you read back to me. But her goal really is to finish the year to build 2 homes in the Dominican Republic. You see, because her nephew has family that lives there, and she has seen firsthand how hard it is to really have a good quality of life, to have running water, to have a roof over your head, to have air conditioning, to have no mosquitoes, to have the quality of life that we get in the United States that we take for granted so often. Now, she needs to invest about $125,000. So for this story, as you can see, everything that I'm talking comes right up here in Claude. I'd like you to imagine that she has exceeded that $125,000 more this year. She made $140,000 more. She's able to make this investment to build 2 homes in the Dominican Republic. She sells homes at an average sales price of $425,000. She has an average commission of 3%. So every single day, every inch, she's been able to add more and more to her savings to be able to get to that goal. Like, take artistic liberty. How does this impact her day to day? How does it impact when she looks in the mirror and she's able to see that she's not spending money on Hermes or Louis Vuitton or a flashy BMW 5 Series that every flippin' realtor drives that's white that makes them feel successful, or a Tesla? Because that's not what defines success. What defines success is the life she's impacted. If you don't understand what I'm asking you to do, let me know. But you have some skills that are saved, so please use them. For those that are on this call that drive a white BMW 5 Series or a white Tesla, you are an amazing realtor because you drive that car. Now, if you notice, I'm using something here called Opus 4.7 Adaptive. Opus 4.7 is the smartest model inside of Claude. If you are going to use Claude, pay $100 a month, Chet, so that you can be able to get access to the smartest models. Now, you're going to notice a few things here. As this starts working, it is going to give me a full voiceover that we can use. Now, when I said I do an AI install day, I've created skills called a visualization coach, which is what it's going to use right now. A skill inside Claude, for all intents and purposes, it's just a skill set that I've taught it. And it knows in depth whenever it needs to go in to use this skill set. It's like in ChatGPT, you have custom GPTs. However, the custom GPTs can only work in a sandbox, can only work by themselves. Claude has probably 400 skills that I've trained it on that help me become more human because I'm able to work faster. Now, if you notice what it's doing, it's creating a sensory, okay, that was fast, a sensory-rich narrative. So, oh, Patrina, you got promised me you're going to use this because I'm going to give it to you when I'm done. Okay, you wake up on a Tuesday in the middle of the year, and the first thing you feel is quiet. Not an anxious quiet, a focused one. The kind that settles in when you stop chasing the wrong things. You walk past the mirror in the hallway, you slow down, you look. The woman looking back at you is not wearing a bag that costs what a family pays in rent. She's not standing next to a white Beamer that every other agent in your market drives like it's a uniform. She's not scrolling for a Tesla she doesn't need. She's wearing something simple, cleaned, and earned. And her eyes are different than they used to be. Her eyes know something. Now, let me go through here, because what I want to do with this is just going to blow your mind. Are we all tracking what I'm saying right now? Leah, in Key West.
Yeah.
I won't come back to you in Key West because that weather looks far better than Jersey. We're going to switch to another tool right here. I'm going to switch over to a tool called 11 Labs. Okay? 11 Labs, as you see right here. Okay? 11 Labs is a fantastic tool that allows me to create voiceovers. And what I'm going to do with this right now is I'm going to go into the studio, create a new audio project, and I'm just going to take 2 paragraphs of what we just did, and I'm just going to paste it in here. That's all I did. I just copy pasted from one AI tool right into another. And now It says it's got Morgan, which is deep and powerful. Literally, it's like a ripoff of Morgan Freeman's voice, which I love. And so here we go. I'm just going to go and I'm going to let it generate here. Use some credits. Let this generate. Let's just see what this sounds like, shall we?
You wake up on a Tuesday in the middle of the year. First thing you feel is the quiet. Not an anxious quiet, a focused one.
Oh. So can we hold, please? Because I want this paragraph right here. I read ahead. I'm skipping. I want these two paragraphs in here because look at this. By October, the number in the account has gone from what is it? 1 in front of it to a 40 after $144,000, 15,000 past your goal. As you stand in your kitchen holding the phone, you cry the kind of tears that don't come from sadness and don't come from stress. They come from relief of arriving somewhere you wanted to go for real. You call your nephew, you tell him you can barely get the words out. He tells his family, like, what? Okay. Even I'm getting emotional, but I want you to see what this sounds like.
By October, the number in the account has a 1 in front of it, 40 right after.
Okay, cool. So we've got a good voiceover. The final step in this process is going into a tool that is called Suno.ai. If you've been with me in the room, you've seen me play with Suno.ai. Suno.ai is, well, it's the coolest tool in the world. It's going to allow me, and I apologize if you guys can or cannot hear the sound, but this is what that voiceover sounds like. Because I realized it was not sharing sound. Can you hear this, by the way?
You call your nephew.
We
You
can.
tell him. He can barely get words out. He tells his family. A grandmother on the other end of a video call puts her hand over her mouth, and you watch her shoulders shake. And you are 3,000 miles from her, and you have never been closer to another human being in your life. You wake up on a Tuesday.
I love this. So what I'm going to do, let me see here, make sure you can all see this. Yes, you can see Suno. Perfect. This is Suno.ai. Suno.ai is where you create music tracks. You can create music for anything your mind can imagine. Why am I doing that? Well, because if while we're working on creating this narrative that we want, right? This narrative, why don't we use AI to help us create a track? So I could say, hey, what I want you to do now is to create a Suno.ai track that is, I don't know, 300 characters long. It is a meditation track that is optimized. So every time someone hears it, it transports them into a different place and gives them the ability to prime the mind to receive a message and go on a journey that has an emotional impact. Think like Hans Zimmer, but don't say Hans Zimmer. Because you can't say Hans Zimmer when you're using these tools because it'll kick back and it'll say that is an IP violation. But now, why I'm doing this is because I want you to be able to have something, Patrina, you can listen to every day.
Thank you.
We're doing bits and pieces of it now, but give me until morning. I'll export this all. I might even do it when we get off here and I'll send it to you so you can have it.
Thank you.
have to listen to it every day.
I
Okay?
will. I will.
Now, when this is finished, which it's going to finish here you go. Now, why I love Claude so much is it just recognized that I'm doing something I do a lot. And it said, would you like to put this into a code terminal where things can be automated? AIs don't think like that. Claude does. So here's the suggestion right here. That's the prompt. And then all I'm going to do is take that prompt and put it here into Suno. I'm just going to go and I'm going to create. I'm going to paste into the styles I want. We're going to make this instrumental. And I'm just going to name this Patrina. Patrina's song. And it's going to create it. Move. Thank you. Good dog. And now here's the song that's going to accompany everything we're doing. So let it load. Sound is shared. And this is what it sounds like.
You wake up on a Tuesday in the middle of the year, and the first thing you feel is the quiet. Not an anxious quiet, a focused one. The kind that settles in when you stop chasing the wrong things. You walk past the mirror in the hallway. You slow down. You look. The woman looking back at you is not wearing a bag that costs what a family pays in rent. She's not standing next to a white BMW that every other agent in...
Now, notice how it started to use the Hans Zimmer type feeling. You know who Hans Zimmer is, right? He just done a whole bunch of movies. But we would put this together in a way that literally changes how you take in this vision, how you take in this story by just simply using different tracks.
By October, the number in the account has a 1 in front of it and a 40 right after. $140,000. $15,000 past your goal, and you stand in your kitchen holding your phone. And you cry the kind of tears that don't come from sadness and don't come from stress. They come from the relief of arriving somewhere you wanted to go for real. You call your nephew. You tell him. He can barely get words out. He tells his family. A grandmother on the other end of...
How does that land with you?
Oh, I'm about to pass out.
In a good way?
In a good way.
Okay.
Amazing way. I love it.
Good. Good.
Thank-
Because now what AI has net effectively done is given you a chance to be more human. It's
Yeah.
given you a chance to see what if it all works out. And this becomes something that you live in every single day. Something that you see the beauty in what you can do for two families in the
Yeah.
Dominican Republic
Yeah.
and live inside of it because it's all possible. We know we live in a business that we have endless opportunities.
Yes.
Can we
It's-
all, can the 25 people that are on this call, Patrina, what's your Instagram?
Patrina Walker.
Is that it? Just Patrina Walker? Super easy. I don't know about you, but Justine, I'm going to look at you because you are the connection queen. Can you please, everybody, let's go find her on Instagram right now. We're all going to hold you accountable to give those two people homes in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
Because when you succeed, we all do. Patricia Walker, right?
Patrina.
I'm sorry, Patrina. I typed in Patricia. That's because it's tired. It's the end of the day. Go. I've got you here. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
AI lets you be more human. And if you guys are interested in something like an AI install day to help bring AI directly into your business, you can find me on Instagram. It's just the Drew Thompson. Really, really easy. The Drew Thompson on Instagram. Drop me a message. We'll set up a 15-minute chat and see if it could be right for you. Everybody, Leah, Brock, Chet, Dawn, Denise, Katie, Justine, Patrina, thank you for letting me spend time with you tonight.
Thank you for changing my life.
I just followed you, Patrina. I just went on Instagram and just started following you. Drew, could you put your Instagram or whatever you need in the chat for those? Because we'll be taking these chats on. My team, we will put these all into show notes so that way you have them all. And so I know some people had to leave, some people just whatever it is that you're doing. Hell, I was just telling Fran, I've been sitting on this damn chair since 7:30. I just looked at the time. I've been on this chair for 14 hours today. And I'm not crying, but I'm telling you, I love this. When people say, Brock, do you love what you do? I do. I'm very, very thankful that I love what I do. When I hear Drew, what he just put together there, like, Drew, your sono that you did taught me and my team how to do my intro song to my mindset show. each and every morning now that we do. And if I knew how to play it, I would play it, but I don't know how to do that because my VAs aren't here. So you're just gonna have to listen at 8:15 in the morning. But I really like the song. Maybe some other people like the song, but it's just like it's about me. It's about the show. It's about everything that goes with it. And we play it every morning now before we do our mindset motivational show. And so like this music all allows you, and for those that are listening in here, and you might be like, well, I'm not too sure about this. I'm telling you, I go in and I take the old MLS. I go in, I take the Zillow, I take the realtor.com, I take all these links and I take all the information and I take this and I say, please create for me song lyrics about this house. And I take the song lyrics about the house and I put it into Sono and I play them a song about their house. When I go into a listing presentation, I say, is anybody else doing this for you? And that's just how I think because I want to sell your house. I want to separate myself and elevate myself from everybody else. And this is one of the things that I do is I sing songs about your house because people are going to remember it. And I say it like, make it rhyming. Because I asked if I went into here, Drew, you just told us all about a song that you can articulate and you remember, and we all have it in our head. And so those are just different things we do. So guys, it is 9:17. It's 8:17 in Central. And for good old Colin, if he's still on here, Colin, it's dinner time. It's 5:15 in the afternoon over there in Alaska. But for all of you, I appreciate you taking time this evening to be with us. All this information will be on the Brock Z Vance Mindset. I did have all my stuff on here. So I'm going to share with you all. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to put it in here. Everything from New Orleans that we now have set up for Monday, November 2nd to 3rd and 4th. It has been locked in. We have my mindset show. We have the morning show. We have my Facebook group, where to find me, my Google review. If you really like me, you can put in a Google review. Even if you don't like me, just make up something if you haven't done a Google review on me. About the show, I appreciate all the leaders, Chad, Rebecca, Brittany, Brian, Drew, for taking time out of your evening that you could have been with your family members. So thank you. I appreciate you all being on here. Guys, thank you. And for those of you for pickleball, we'll be doing pickleball and AI here in the Charlotte Cornelius Lake Norman area, May 19th at 6:30. So if you could join us, please do. And guys, have a fabulous evening of whatever's left of it, whatever zip code, whatever you're in. Love you guys. God bless you all. I'm going to bed. See ya.